What's going on? I'm Tyler Sabino, and I'm your host of the first episode of Tech to Be Nice. There's many thoughts on AI. It's good, it's bad, I've seen iRobot, and I'm not fucking with it, right? You hear a lot, I'm like, bro, what are your thoughts on the future of AI in general?
At first, I think maybe it was like a lot of people were skeptical, because I also thought it was going to just be like a cheat. I was like, oh God, there's going to be a whole bunch of people not really doing anything. But I would say at least in the last 6 months too, is I've seen so many different applications come from AI, like editing with AI, podcasting with AI. I just see it as like, you know what, it's going to create so many new tools to help people be able to create and get to the next level without having to feel they need to have a room full of people, to get their production or their ideas done. The thing that scares me though is that it's going to handicap a lot of people, right? Like we've already seen people jump into Midjourney and some of these other things, and they'll ask 2-3 questions and they'll get their things and they're like, oh, that's it, right? And they'll take it as face value. I think for creatives, the thing to always think about is like times are always going to change. New technology is always going to be implemented. I remember shooting on 5D to, God knows what's even out now. Like things are always moving. You have to stay progressive with what's going on, and don't be afraid of just embracing new stuff, right? Like even if you don't ever use AI, you should still understand it. So in case you ever do run into a situation where you're contracted by somebody who does prefer AI, or they use it for short steps, you're not all of a sudden you're an outlier. You're the old guy in the room. Like nah, like I do appreciate AI. I think the one thing too that's also gonna be the most scary though are the rights. Like you're creating stuff on these platforms, you don't own anything. Yeah. So like be very wary of what you're actually using the platform for and giving to it. Because I'm very curious to see what happens when the next big thing happens or big artwork happens, and the guys who own the Midjourney are like, oh no, it's cool because we own all the rights to this now too. So just be very
and that's exactly what happened with the labels, right? And Spotify and all those streaming services when that Drake AI song, like that guy went viral, and exactly what you're saying. It's like use it to enhance your stuff, but don't get lazy, right? Don't get lazy, and I agree. I think that the robot, are there going to be robots one day? For sure, right? I mean, we even have the little Wallies driving down, delivering food now, right? Like, and they don't care if you're in the street or you're not. They don't care. You get out their way. But in everything you're saying is like, you should, even if you're not in tech, even if you're not a creator, you should understand what's going on, because it's going to affect every category. It's going to affect everything. Right, from food, everything.
It's going to be everywhere.
So I agree. I agree 100%. And I think, to close it out, what advice would you give, young creative directors, young creators, right, that you work with in this industry to not only make stuff like to go viral, because I'm sure a lot of stuff that you've created, I'm sure there were certain things you're like, okay, this is probably going to go viral, but I'm sure there was other things that you're like, you're just doing it for yourself. And it ended up like going to that level. So what is some advice that you have?
The idea of wanting to go viral is idiotic. Like that should never be a forefront thought. Just make whatever you feel is great. Art is super subjective, and social media has made it even more subjective. You could post something that's amazing and you might get 5 likes. That does not define your work. Just continually make great stuff that you're passionate about. And the people who are supposed to care and how it's supposed to go, it's going to happen. But don't let platforms define your work.
Thanks. I love that. I appreciate you being on the first episode of Tech to Be Nice. I appreciate you.